How we doing today, folks? My name is Raven, and well, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think I'd be making this video this quickly. So this is gonna be a follow-up to my how to play Revenant guide, Paragon the Overprime. In the background, you'll be seeing gameplay of Revenant on the current patch, that is patch 2.28.23, because they don't really name them, they just go by the dates. And well, they may have over-nerfed Revenant quite a bit. Let's start with it. So, Q. Storm of bullets. Reloading effect has been removed in certain situations. Dev comments. Using Storm of bullets Q while under the effect of mortal shot granted an immediate reloading effect. Revenant could fire 8 shots in a row without reloading. Due to this advantage, he was able to achieve the highest DPS of all heroes in the early game. This enabled frequent early game snowballing with Revenant. I mean, to be honest, Revenant is a snowballing character. That is how you excel with him. He's kind of weak in the early game, like any other ADC, and then he quickly snowballs. He's going to get out of control. But this is the part that really irks me, and this is the first time I've actually really disagreed with something that the devs have come up with. This aspect of Revenant was too difficult for novice players to use, and the majority of players didn't even know about this ability. To make the hero more accessible, the team has removed the effect. You essentially removed a mechanical skill that took time to learn. I mean, it didn't really take too much time to learn if you just watched the video or just played around with the character. But it's something. This is what bothers me, is that you're dumbing down a character in the sense of you're removing a skill gap. This is what separates good players from great players. If you look at any other character in any other MOBA, they have some kind of skill, or within some of their abilities, their auto attacks, or whatever it may be, whether it's League of Legends or Smite, you have a certain skill expression that you can show because you've played that character a lot and you know the little ins and outs of everything. Fresh example off the top of my head is Azir in League of Legends, the Shurima Shuffle. If you're not familiar with that, Azir can raise a Sand Soldier, dash to it, then Q, which sends the Sand Soldier somewhere, meaning while you're traveling to the Sand Soldier and you hit Q in mid-flight, you will then go with that Sand Soldier and then you can ult and throw your ult in a certain direction. Imagine just removing that entirely from the character. That is something that not everyone either A, knows how to do, or B, can do effectively and consistently. Imagine removing that and being like, well, that really good person that knows how to do that and can do it efficiently, we're just gonna take that away. And I'm not saying we're targeting certain players or what it may be, but you're literally removing a certain skill expression from a character just cause. That's what bothers me the most. So now you're making the character just dumbed down, and there's gonna be no skill expression. I mean, there currently isn't, because this is live. This is live right now. That's probably the worst part about this whole entire nerf, is that comment right there. So we'll just keep moving on. Mortal shot, right mouse button skill, damage adjusted. Before it was, percentages. Now they reduced it early, increased it later in the game. I'm fine with that. Whatever. His right click, his 4 shot. That's all your damage anyway. So makes sense that kind of is a little bit weaker, but it gets stronger in the end. I'm okay with that change. We initially designed Revenant to be weak in the early game, but gradually become stronger. To enhance the intended design, we adjusted the skill's damage increment so that it was low at level 1, but increased from level 4. Again, don't mind that. This one, oh my god, this one, another one that just completely irks me. Attack speed adjusted. Before, it was once every 0.6 seconds. Now, it's once every 0.85 seconds. I'll show that in the background comparison to when I made the Revenant guide video and what it is now. I mean, you can see what it is now anyway, but now you can see it side by side. Let's read the comments first. At level 1, Revenant's base attack speed was the fastest of all heroes. Sure, it was, which enabled him to achieve the highest DPS in the early game. This is how we determined that it was not working as designed. Oh, his attack speed has been adjusted so that the other heroes can have a chance to rival him in the early game. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, if this is how you want the character to work, then take a note from Predecessor. I haven't really researched it too much, but I've noticed that they haven't really mentioned anything about it. But in Predecessor, the way to design Revenant is that his attack speed, his actual shooting attack speed, is slower in the early game, but it does get faster in the game. I think they may have addressed it in one patch notes, but it's blurry to me right now. So if that's what you want to do, then I'd be fine with that. But instead, now at level 1, he's attacking 0.85 for in between each attack, right? So that means whether it's the early game or it's you're 25 minutes in, that means you're only going to be able to get 4 shots off in 3.2 seconds, give or take. I didn't do the exact math, but it's about all 4 of your shots in 3.2 seconds. That's a long freaking time in late game. Going against any other ADC that has at least a 2.5 attack speed, they're going to be attacking. They're going to hit you with 8 auto attacks before you get off all 4 of yours, and your 4th shot being your most damage. So now, the devs have increased the room for error in between your shots, because, you know, you're Revenant, you have to reload, and you have to hit your shots. You've now increased the error between shots, and you've made it so he can't compete with other ADCs in late game. So let's see. You can't do the fancy reload thing with Q now, so now you ruin his DPS. Then you gut his attack speed, so now he attacks slower and can't do the reload thing. You know, like, it's... why? It's just why. I don't understand. It's way too much. And the only reason I'm so passionate about this is because he's my favorite hero. And to tell you the truth, I don't even want to use Q anymore. Q just seems absolutely useless now. It already doesn't really target the correct people. It's completely inconsistent, and that's fair. That's by design, I guess. But even in a 1v1 situation now, I can't use my Q to flow through my kit and effectively get me another reload. So I'm not even gonna, there's no point to using it anymore. You already attack slow and you're not gonna get the advantage of reloading with using your Q, so why am I gonna use the ability anyway? I would be okay with the rest of these with 2 and 3 here. I'd be okay with that if you could still do 1. But you can't. So now you can't do this, you can't do that. Damage is weaker in the early game, whatever. But just, if anyone's played it already, go. You don't see anyone playing Revenant anymore. I've seen it a couple times. I don't even play Revenant anymore. So, if anyone actually sees a Revenant playing, and you get to a late game situation where you guys have 4 full items, and you're, let's say, Murdoch attacking 2.5, you know, every second, 2.5 attacks every second. We know how that goes in a 1v1. If the Revenant kills you or you kill the Revenant. Because it's actually absurd. But anyway, other than that, updates to his build path, it's still the same. It would still be Treasure Sword of the Kingdom, Sword of Conviction, Sword of Conviction. You go from there. You kind of flex it out at this point now. I don't know. There's a lot more heroes in the game, so the tank meta is certainly still there. But because no one really plays ranked anymore, I'm not even sure where that meta's at. I don't even play ranked anymore. But that's a whole different story. That's not about that. So for the purpose of this video, build path's the same. Although I will say they did adjust green gem, the fortitude gem, so that it is not as effective on range characters. So in that case, I would say start the red gem. Probably get a little bit more value out of it. That's what I would do. Anyways, if you agree or disagree with me, let me know in the comments. But I sound all congested today. Apologies for that. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.